the face of your enemies. Safeguard the helpless. Even if it leads to your death, that is your oath. Rise a knight!
You are not what you were born, but what you have it in yourself to be.
For the strength to endure what is to come.
Kingdom of Heaven is a large-scale historical epic released in 2005, directed by Ridley Scott, a filmmaker known for blending spectacle with moral complexity. Set against the volatile backdrop of the Crusades, the film explores themes of faith, power, tolerance, and personal redemption. Rather than presenting history as a simple clash of good and evil, the story unfolds as a meditation on humanity under pressure, where ideals are tested by war, politics, and personal loss. The film places its emotional weight not only on battles and kingdoms, but on the inner journey of a man searching for meaning in a world torn apart by belief and ambition. At the center of the story is Balian, portrayed by Orlando Bloom, a village blacksmith living in France. His life begins in quiet despair, shaped by the sudden death of his wife, whose loss leaves him spiritually empty and emotionally detached from the world around him. This grief defines his early character, establishing him as a man who feels abandoned by God and disconnected from purpose. His simple existence is shattered when he encounters Baron Godfrey of Ibelin, played by Liam Neeson, a Crusader nobleman who reveals himself to be Balian's long-estranged father. This revelation introduces the idea that identity is not fixed by birth alone, but can be shaped by choice, honor, and action. Godfrey represents a fading ideal of chivalry, a man who believes that the true kingdom of heaven is not a place on a map, but a state of righteousness within oneself. His arrival pulls Balian into a larger historical conflict, one that stretches far beyond the boundaries of his village. After violence forces Balian to flee his homeland, he joins his father on the dangerous journey toward Jerusalem. This road is filled with physical danger and moral uncertainty, reinforcing the idea that the path to purpose is never easy. When Godfrey is mortally wounded, he knights Balian before dying, passing on not only a title, but a code of honor that will guide Balian's transformation. As Balian travels onward, the film gradually opens into the vast political and religious landscape of the Holy Land. Jerusalem is depicted as a fragile city held together by uneasy truces and competing ambitions. Here, Balian enters the service of King Baldwin, IV the young and intelligent ruler afflicted with leprosy, portrayed by Edward Norton beneath a silver mask. Baldwin is one of the film's most compelling figures, embodying wisdom, restraint, and the tragic cost of leadership. Though physically decaying, he understands that peace between Christians and Muslims is the only way to preserve Jerusalem. His calm authority contrasts sharply with the reckless aggression brewing within his own court. The political tension within Jerusalem is driven by figures such as Guy de Lusignan, played by Martin Sissocas, whose hunger for power and glory threatens to destroy the delicate balance holding the kingdom together. Guy represents the darker side of crusading ideology, using religion as a justification for violence and personal ambition. His desire to provoke war with the Muslim forces is fueled by pride and resentment, not genuine faith. Alongside him are other nobles who see conflict as a means to strengthen their influence, even if it costs countless lives. Through these characters, the film examines how belief can be twisted into a weapon when mixed with ego and fear. Eva Green's character, Sibylla, adds emotional and political depth to the narrative. As the sister of King Baldwin and wife to Guy de Lusignan, she is trapped between duty and conscience. Her relationship with Balian develops gradually, grounded in shared loss and mutual respect rather than simple romance. Sibylla's choices reflect the limited agency afforded to women within the rigid structures of medieval power. Yet she remains a decisive force in the story. Her internal struggle mirrors Balian's own conflict between personal desire and moral responsibility, reinforcing the film's focus on difficult choices rather than clear victories. As Balian gains land and responsibility in Jerusalem, he evolves from a grieving blacksmith into a thoughtful leader. He applies practical intelligence and compassion to improve the lives of those under his protection, emphasizing coexistence and fairness over domination. His actions demonstrate that true leadership is defined not by bloodline or conquest, but by service and integrity. This growth is central to the film's emotional core, as Balian learns to honor his father's ideals while forging his own understanding of faith and duty. His rejection of blind fanaticism sets him apart from many around him, positioning him as a bridge between opposing worlds. The looming threat of war is embodied by the legendary Muslim leader Saladin, portrayed by Ghassan Massoud. Saladin is depicted with dignity, restraint, and strategic intelligence, avoiding simplistic villainy. His presence reinforces the film's balanced perspective, showing that honor and mercy are not exclusive to any one side. The respect between Saladin and his adversaries, particularly in moments of negotiation and aftermath, underscores the idea that humanity can persist even in times of violent conflict. This portrayal challenges traditional depictions of the Crusades, emphasizing mutual respect over demonization. When fragile peace collapses due to reckless provocations, the film shifts into its large-scale battle sequences. These moments are visually intense, yet they are framed not as triumphs but as tragic consequences of failed diplomacy and unchecked ambition. The suffering of soldiers and civilians alike is emphasized, reinforcing the cost of ideological warfare. Balian's role during these conflicts is defined by defense rather than conquest, as he focuses on protecting Jerusalem's people rather than pursuing glory. His leadership during the siege of Jerusalem becomes the ultimate test of his moral evolution. The defense of Jerusalem stands as the film's emotional and philosophical climax. Outnumbered and facing inevitable defeat, Balian organizes the city's defenses with intelligence and resolve, not to secure victory, but to minimize suffering. His negotiations with Saladin reflect the ideals passed down from his father, prioritizing human life over symbolic triumph. The surrender of the city is portrayed not as failure, but as an act of mercy and wisdom, preserving countless lives and maintaining dignity in the face of loss. This conclusion reinforces the film's central message that righteousness lies in compassion, not domination. Beyond its narrative, Kingdom of Heaven is notable for its production scale and visual ambition. Released in 2005, the film reflects a period in cinema when historical epics were crafted with meticulous attention to set design, costumes, and atmosphere. Ridley Scott's direction emphasizes realism and grandeur, creating a world that feels both vast and intimate. The deserts, cities, and battlefields are not merely backdrops, but extensions of the characters' internal struggles. Music and pacing work together to maintain a reflective tone, allowing quieter moments to carry as much weight as the action. The cast contributes significantly to the film's impact. Orlando Bloom delivers a restrained performance that supports Balian's gradual transformation rather than overwhelming it with theatrics. Eva Green brings emotional complexity and quiet strength to Sibylla, while Edward Norton's masked performance as King Baldwin conveys authority and vulnerability through voice and gesture alone. Liam Neeson's presence, though brief, establishes the moral foundation of the story, and Ghassan Massoud's portrayal of Saladin adds gravitas and balance. Together, the ensemble reinforces the film's commitment to nuance and moral ambiguity. The film's promotional material, including its trailer, emphasizes sweeping visuals, intense battles, and emotional stakes, positioning Kingdom of Heaven as both a spectacle and a serious historical drama. The imagery of armor, desert landscapes, and clashing armies sets expectations of scale, while glimpses of personal conflict hint at the deeper themes explored within the story. This balance reflects the film itself, which uses epic storytelling as a vehicle for introspection rather than simple entertainment. Ultimately, Kingdom of Heaven stands as a reflection on belief, power, and the possibility of honor in a world driven by conflict. It does not offer easy answers or clear heroes, but instead invites viewers to consider the consequences of actions taken in the name of faith and ambition. Through Balian's journey, the film suggests that the true Kingdom of Heaven is built not through conquest, but through empathy, restraint, and moral courage. Released in 2005, it remains a thought-provoking cinematic exploration of history, reminding audiences that humanity's greatest battles are often fought within the soul rather than on the battlefield.